unfold. Okay, so let's talk about something that a lot of us face as we get older. There's this really tough question that comes up. What do you do when taking care of your family starts to take a toll on your own well-being? In this explainer, we are going to dive deep into the art of letting go and what it really means to embrace something called positive individualism. I just love this quote. It completely reframes the whole idea of letting go, doesn't it? It's not about giving up or fading away. Just like that tree, it's about clearing out the old stuff to make room for something beautiful, for clarity, for peace.
You know, for so many people, being needed is a huge part of their identity. It feels good, right? But that constant feeling, that nonstop demand, can turn into an incredibly heavy weight. Let's unpack why this pressure feels so uniquely intense for seniors today.
Do you ever feel like you're being pulled in 1,000 different directions at once? Well, you are definitely not alone. There's actually a name for it, the Club Sandwich Generation. It's a step beyond the old sandwich generation. We're talking about seniors who are simultaneously supporting their own aging parents, their adult children, and their grandchildren. It's a lot.
And this table here really shows how much that caregiving load has exploded over the years. I mean, from the 80s to now, the pressure has just ramped up like crazy. One big reason for this is something researchers call generational health drift. It's a fancy term, but it basically means our adult kids are often dealing with more of their own health issues, which leaves us, the seniors, as the family's last real safety net.
All of this pressure can lead to something that psychologists have identified as depleted grandmother syndrome. And this is so much more than just feeling tired. It's this deep, bone-deep exhaustion, both physical and emotional. It often traps you in this awful cycle. First, you feel resentment for all the demands, and then that's immediately followed by this wave of guilt for even feeling that way. It's just draining.
And the emotional cost is, well, it's staggering. Up to 70% of family caregivers show actual clinical symptoms of depression. This is a huge hidden mental health crisis, and it's fueled by a mix of love and a sense of duty.
Of course, all that stress takes a physical toll too. Almost a quarter of caregivers report that their duties have directly harmed their own physical health. We're talking weakened immune systems, taking longer to recover from being sick, you name it. And then there's the money. The financial strain is just immense. A whopping 71% of caregivers say they struggle financially. They're often dipping into their own retirement savings to help out family, which puts their own future in jeopardy. So, what's holding all this pressure in place? A lot of it comes down to this powerful cultural idea that endless self-sacrifice is a good thing, that it's a virtue. But we really need to start challenging that myth, especially when it's leading to total burnout. Gerontologist Dr. Elena Vance put it perfectly. You just can't pour from an empty cup. When you are completely wiped out, you're not really helping anyone. The most important thing to remember is that real, sustainable support has to start with taking care of yourself first. Okay, so if sacrificing ourselves isn't the answer, what is? Well, believe it or not, there's a ton of science that points to a much better alternative, actually prioritizing your own well-being. And get this, it isn't selfish, it's strategic. Let's look at the proof. The absolute gold standard here is the Harvard study of adult development. It's been going on for over 80 years, and its biggest, most profound finding is this. The single best predictor of a long, healthy life isn't your cholesterol or how much money you have. It's the quality of your relationships. And think about it. Truly good relationships are built on joy and respect, not on exhaustion and obligation. The study also found that the happiest seniors change how they cope with stress over time. They move away from what are called immature defenses, like denial, and towards mature ones. A great example is humor, just being able to laugh at how absurd life can be. Another one is suppression. Now, that's not bottling things up. It's the conscious, healthy choice to put a worry aside for a bit so you can save your mental energy for what's really important. It's a skill you can learn. And what's so cool is that your own biology is actually on your side here. Neuroscientists have found something called the positivity effect. It turns out the aging brain naturally starts reacting less to negative stuff and focuses more on the positive. So choosing peace isn't just a nice idea, it's literally aligning your life with how your brain wants to work.
This all builds up to a phenomenon called the U-curve of happiness. Basically, after a dip in midlife, our sense of well-being is biologically programmed to rise again in our 60s and 70s. The only catch? To ride that happy curve upward, you have to consciously let go of the burdens that defined your middle years. This is supposed to be your time.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually do it? We've talked about the why, so now let's get into the how. How do you start putting yourself first in a way that feels good and right?
The absolute key is to completely reframe that word selfishness. Healthy selfishness has nothing to do with ignoring people you love. It's about honoring yourself. You know, it's just like the oxygen mask on an airplane. You have to put your own on first before you can even begin to help anyone else. It's just common sense.
One really powerful, practical tool for this is a Swedish concept called döstädning, which translates to death cleaning. Now, I know it sounds a little morbid, but it's actually the complete opposite. It's a really life-affirming way of decluttering that reduces your mental stress, lets you take control of your own story, and creates a much lighter, more peaceful home to live in.
Now, setting boundaries is absolutely crucial, but oh my gosh, it can be so hard to find the right words. So here are some simple scripts you can literally use. Instead of that old guilt-based reaction like, oh, well, I guess I can cancel my plans, try something clear and positive, like, I can do Tuesday morning for 2 hours. See the difference? You're not rejecting the person. You're just saying yes to your own sanity and your own limits. You know, putting all these strategies to work isn't just about cutting down on stress. It's so much bigger than that. It's about this empowering act of taking the pen back into your own hand and consciously rewriting the final and maybe the most important chapter of your life.
This right here is the heart of it all. This stage of your life is not an ending. It's a promotion. I mean, think about it. After decades of being a parent, an employee, a caregiver, all these roles defined by other people, you are finally promoted to the job of being fully and unapologetically yourself. And a huge part of accepting that promotion is really getting the difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is the pain of being alone, but solitude is the glory of choosing to be alone. Learning to embrace solitude is like a superpower. It lets you reconnect with who you really are and what you really want.
So, we'll just leave you with this final thought. You have spent a lifetime planting trees for other people. You've worked the soil, you've watered the seeds, you've helped everything grow. Now, isn't it time you got to just sit back, relax, and enjoy the shade? You've more than earned it.